I love pumpkin for all the different things it can add to recipes, including a basic white bean hummus recipe. So I've got a few ingredients right here that I'm gonna add to my food processor, and once I do, I'm going to have a delicious and creamy hummus with the flavor of fall. So in my food processor, I already have 1 clove of garlic and just a pinch of salt. And the reason I started with my garlic clove is so that I could get it all broken down really well, so it'll really just kind of incorporate with the rest of the ingredients. And I wish you were here in the kitchen with me because it smells like garlic and it smells yummy. Anyway, I'm gonna start with that garlic in the food processor. I've got it processed. I'm gonna put in 1 15-ounce can of cannellini beans, and these have been drained well and rinsed. And you see that you can even make this recipe in a small food processor. And next up, I'm grabbing my spatula. I'm gonna put in about a 1/4 cup of pumpkin puree. This is just plain pumpkin, and it is gonna add that flavor of the season for us. Next up is a couple of teaspoons of lemon juice. This is gonna allow me to use less salt and actually add a pop of flavor. And I've got, look, smoked paprika. That's gonna give this hummus a wonderful meaty flavor, which sounds funny, but you know, we love that flavor of umami or richness. Okay, let's see, do I have everything? I've got the pumpkin, I've got smoked paprika. I'm gonna put another little pinch of salt in there. And I've got my lemon juice and of course my garlic clove that I already had pureed. So here we go. And it doesn't have a lot of liquid in it. Let me see, there we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this up and make sure I get it moved around a little bit so that I can get it all well incorporated. And in just a moment, my hummus is going to be creamy and luscious. It's almost there. And y'all, when I took that lid of the food processor off, it smelled so yummy good. So one more time here, and I'm going to get everything in. And now it's really starting to move and get a little bit more creamy and yummy. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to taste it. And if I need to put in a little salt, I'll put in, look at that, yum. Got 1 or 2 little beans here that want to hang on being whole. So I'm gonna taste it and see if I need to put any more salt in there. So let me grab a spoon and see if it needs more salt. It's so good. And it does need just another pinch of salt. I think in the recipe I call for a 1/2 teaspoon, and I definitely have not put that much in there yet. So there we go. Wipe my hand off a little bit, and let's zhuzh it up one more time. And now that salt is getting all well incorporated. And there we go. Now, if you're using a bigger food processor, it may not take you quite as many times to zhuzh it up. But I used a small one because, gosh, I didn't want to get the big food processor dirty. Hey, listen, while I'm pulling over our presentation and going to put our pumpkin hummus out, I do want to share with you, we only used about a 1/4 cup of that pumpkin puree in our hummus. So a pumpkin puree freezes great. So put it in a Ziploc bag, label it, put the date on it, and you know, it'll keep in your freezer for 6 months or more. So now I've got my pumpkin hummus here. I'm going to take out my blade, set it aside, and then I'm going to grab my pumpkin hummus and put it out because I want to show you how pretty it's going to be when I garnish it. And it's also this, you know, garnish should be not just pretty, but it also should add to the flavor of whatever you are making. So here we go. And I'll use my spoon here to just make sure I get it all here. And I'm gonna spread it out. And y'all know that I like to put my spreads and dips and salads and practically everything on a plate or platter instead of a bowl. And the reason I like to do that is because it is easier to dip and it's actually more sanitary. And it's prettier. Now what I'm going to do is add 3 more ingredients. The first ingredient I'm going to add is some pomegranate molasses. Y'all know I love this. It's sweet and tangy. It's getting more accessible. You can find it in some places like Trader Joe's and Sprouts, or it's easy to order on Amazon. And if you can find one that doesn't have any sugar in it, that's great. I find that most of them do have a little bit of sugar in them now, but very, very little. So I'm just going to drizzle some pomegranate molasses over my hummus. And then next up, what I'm going to put on are some pomegranate seeds, okay? So I'm layering on the flavors, and there's nothing that's prettier than just a half a pomegranate on your dip tray. So here we go. And I'm getting very excited about the pomegranates. I will put the link to how to take the seeds out of a pomegranate in the show notes below. And then one last thing, we've got some toasted pumpkin seeds that we toasted just in a 400-degree oven. And I want y'all to look at this and look how gorgeous this is. And it's better for us, right? Because it doesn't have a lot of extraneous ingredients. We put it together. We know what it tastes like, and trust me, it tastes delicious. I wish I could share it with you today. This goes great with some warm pita pockets, with pita chips, or crudité, carrots, celery, yummy in here. So I hope you enjoyed the pumpkin hummus, and I hope you make it at home. Until the next healthy recipe, cheers to the season and fall.